Your brain does not measure your personal worth by what you actually possess. It measures your worth by where you sit in relation to the human standing next to you. That sudden, heavy tightness in your chest when you see someone else achieve the very thing you want is not a personal failure or a flaw in your character. It is an ancient, involuntary survival program running inside your nervous system. You were never meant to stop comparing. You were built to do it to stay alive. What you are experiencing in those moments of quiet inadequacy is the constant automatic firing of your brain's evolutionary social rank detection network. It is an invisible biological tracking system operated by deep subcortical structures like your ventral striatum and anterior cingulate cortex, constantly scanning your environment to calculate your exact standing within the human hierarchy. To understand why this system dominates your daily mental life, we have to travel back hundreds of thousands of years into our evolutionary past. Imagine living in a small hunter-gatherer tribe of roughly 150 individuals. In that world, your relative social rank was not a matter of vanity or superficial ego. It was literally a matter of life and death. If your social status dropped too low within the group, you were the last to receive food during a famine, the last to receive warmth and shelter, and the most likely to be cast out into the wilderness alone. Being cast out of the group meant immediate physical mortality, so your brain developed a brilliant, highly sensitive biological mechanism designed to prevent that exact outcome. Social scientist Leon Festinger documented this phenomenon in 1954 when he introduced social comparison theory. Festinger revealed that human beings possess an innate, unyielding drive to evaluate their own opinions and abilities by comparing themselves to others. But why? Because without objective physical instruments to measure our self-worth, our neural architecture relies entirely on relative social metrics. Your brain constantly runs two distinct types of comparison programs. The first is upward social comparison, where your neural circuits evaluate someone who appears superior in status, skill, or resource access. When this happens, your brain registers a potential threat to your standing in the tribe, triggering a spike in stress hormones like cortisol and a temporary drop in baseline dopamine. The second is downward social comparison, where you observe someone who appears less capable or less successful, which briefly restores a feeling of security and triggers a subtle pulse of reward neurochemistry. By the way, if you catch your brain running this exact social rank comparison loop right now, go ahead and hit subscribe and leave a comment sharing what specific trigger sets off your internal comparison network most often. When you do that, it signals to the platform that this deep exploration of human behavior matters, which allows this channel to keep uncovering the hidden neuroscience behind our shared human quirks. Now, let us look directly back at how this ancient survival machinery behaves inside your modern head. Every single time you walk into a room, meet a colleague, or observe a peer, your subcortical circuits are silently asking three fundamental questions. Am I safe? Where do I rank? And am I falling behind? It happens faster than conscious thought. It happens faster than conscious thought. You do not choose to run these numbers. Your neural hardware runs them for you, automatically assigning a psychological weight to everyone around you before you have even finished saying hello. Think of your social rank network like an automatic radar system installed on a ship built tens of thousands of years ago. On a small wooden vessel with a crew of 30 people, that radar was quiet, effective, and essential for staying alive. It kept the peace. It prevented reckless challenges to dominant figures. It ensured every member knew their role and stayed connected to the tribe. Now, take that exact same primitive radar system and drop it into the modern world. What happens when a mechanism designed for a small group of 150 people is suddenly bombarded by the endless digital noise of 8 billion human beings? It hyperactivates. It breaks down completely. In your natural ancestral environment, you observed your tribe members in full three-dimensional reality. You saw the high-ranking hunter miss a target. You saw the leader suffer from illness. You saw their moments of grief, fatigue, fear, and weakness. Your brain had a balanced, realistic dataset. You knew that even the most capable person in your group was deeply human, flawed, and vulnerable. Modern technology shattered that biological balance. Today, your visual cortex and emotional processing centers are exposed to hundreds of meticulously engineered highlight reels every single day. You are watching the top 1% of global outcomes, the most attractive photos, the biggest career wins, the most exotic vacations, the most pristine relationship milestones, curated, filtered, and presented as if it were ordinary daily reality. Your ancient brain does not know what a smartphone is. It does not understand digital filters, clever lighting, or selective posting. When your ventral striatum observes a peer displaying an extraordinary achievement online, your primitive survival network processes that image as objective baseline truth about your tribe. In 2013, researcher Ethan Cross and his team conducted a landmark study tracking how individuals interacted with digital social platforms throughout their daily lives. The researchers discovered a direct linear correlation. The more time individuals spent passively consuming the polished social status of others, the lower their immediate sense of subjective well-being plummeted. The brain was not registering entertainment, it was registering a continuous, relentless loss of relative social rank. Stop for a moment and really feel the weight of that truth. When you scroll through your feed late at night and feel a sudden wave of quiet despair, it is not because you are weak, ungrateful, or broken. It is because your brain genuinely believes you are losing your place in the tribe. It believes your survival is under threat because everybody else seems to be accumulating resources, status, and stability, while you are sitting alone in the dark holding a glowing piece of glass. It is an absolute cognitive illusion. You are evaluating your messy, unedited, behind-the-scenes life against someone else's carefully constructed highlight reel. You are comparing your internal, chaotic thoughts, your morning tiredness, your financial anxieties, and your private doubts to a hyper-sanitized digital artifact that represents less than 1% of another human being's actual lived experience. Your neural circuitry is playing a game it was never designed to win. So how do you take back control of a biological mechanism that is hardwired into your very DNA? You cannot delete the code, but you can change the inputs and rewrite how your mind interprets the signal. Here are 3 specific, scientifically grounded strategies to recalibrate your social rank network today. Here are: first, introduce high-friction boundaries into your physical and digital environments. Because social comparison operates as an automatic subcortical cue response loop, your brain initiates the rank calculation before your conscious prefrontal cortex can intervene. If your phone is the first thing you pick up when your eyes open in the morning, you are immediately dropping your nervous system into a competitive social arena before your rational mind is even awake. By placing physical distance between yourself and your devices during vulnerable neural windows, such as the first 30 minutes after waking up, you protect your brain's baseline neurochemistry from immediate hierarchy overload. Second, transmute upward comparison into informational social benchmarking. The moment you feel that sharp sting of envy or inadequacy, your primitive brain is treating another person's success as a personal loss. You must consciously step in and perform a metacognitive reframe. Instead of allowing your subcortical brain to ask, "Why am I behind?" force your prefrontal cortex to ask, "What specific skill or strategy did they use that I can adapt for my own growth?" Envy is simply misplaced focus. When you transform emotional envy into neutral, tactical analysis, you disarm the threat response in your amygdala. You shift your neural processing out of the defensive stress network and back into the executive planning center of your brain. The other person's achievement stops being evidence of your failure and becomes proof of what is humanly possible within your reach. Third, construct an explicit internal lateral baseline. Your brain naturally demands a point of reference to measure progress. If you do not explicitly give it one, it will default to comparing you to global digital outliers. To counteract this, you must anchor your social comparison circuit inward. Compare your current capabilities, emotional resilience, and personal discipline not to the internet, but strictly to who you were 6 months ago, 1 year ago, or 5 years ago. Keep concrete, quantifiable metrics of your own historical growth. When your brain sees clear evidence that your current self is outperforming your past self, it releases a sustained pulse of baseline dopamine, reinforcing a neural state of self-efficacy and security. Take a deep breath and let this sink in. You are not failing at life. Your brain is simply executing a million-year-old survival program in an artificial world that exploits its delicate machinery. The feelings of inadequacy you have carried are not proof that you are falling behind. They are simply proof that your biological rank detection radar is working exactly as evolution designed it to. Once you see the software running, you are no longer trapped by it. You can step back, watch the program run without judgment, and choose where to direct your focus. What exact trigger made you compare yourself today? Answer that in 5 words or less down below. And go ahead and tap the like button right now as a practical bookmark, so the next time you catch yourself spiraling into comparison while scrolling, you can easily return to this exact neuroscience explanation and reset your brain's biological baseline. Understanding the hidden mechanics of your mind is the first step to mastering your actual daily behavior. You now possess the scientific blueprint behind why your brain compares, how modern algorithms exploit that ancient loop, and how to reclaim your focus. But social comparison is only one piece of a much larger, invisible engine driving your everyday decisions, habits, and unconscious reactions. There is another fundamental biological trap hidden deep inside your brain, one that quietly dictates how you respond to uncertainty, fear, and daily choices without you ever realizing it. We are already researching the neural mechanics of this hidden pattern right now. Subscribe to Habit Decoded right now so you do not miss the next discovery the moment it drops. Keep decoding your mind and take control of your life.